All right. So what I'm going to do now is to share my screen here, and we're about to go ahead and get started. So again, like I mentioned before, just make sure you have your phone out, and we're going to have some fun today. We're gonna make things engaging when it comes to using Kahoot. I'm going to go ahead and start up our Kahoot here today. So make sure to get ready to join. You're going to see a game pin pop up here. You can go ahead and go to kahoot.it and enter the game pin here. Or what you can also do here is you can scan the QR code. Another great way to join our fun and interactive game here today. So again, what we're playing here today is our classic mode. So this is one of a personal favorite of mine. It's a bit of a faster paced Kahoot. It's the one that we all know and love. It's the one that's been popular in education systems for many years. That's now very popular within all of our great customers here at Kahoot at work. Again, we work with 97% of Fortune 500 companies, so they all know and love this classic game. So go ahead, give it a join. We'll give it another second here for people to join. Again, if you ever have the opportunity to leave the app and you're looking to join the game again, the game pin 7244927, it'll be at the bottom of the screen here. All right, awesome. So again, when you're going ahead and you're setting up your Kahoot for the first time, you're going to have a lot of different features you can choose through. So you can actually have the ability to show the questions and answers on your phone and on the screen. So if you are presenting to somebody, you have the ability to set that up however you like. We have something known as a player identifier. So if you need to know who's behind the phone, you can toggle this on and you can make sure that people are seeing when people actually enter the game, they have to enter a unique identifier, such as an email address. Maybe you're at work and you want to know who's actually completing a compliance training, for example. You can toggle that on, so they have to add a unique identifier there. We can change the theme of our game. So let's go with a nice Kahoot blue at work. It'll match my screen. You have the ability to change some of the language here. Again, we're all about inclusivity here at Kahoot, so you're able to adopt that to your regional language or whatever language would suit you. We can change our lobby music here. I prefer the great classic Kahoot. It's very nostalgic for me. I love that one, and so do our customers. You have the ability to toggle on characters. I like to do that. Again, if you're in a more serious meeting or you're looking for a more professional setting, you can always toggle the characters off. It's a Friday. Let's let loose a little bit. We'll keep the characters on here today. You also have the ability to toggle on slide reactions. I'm going to toggle that on for all slides. I like to know how people are engaging with the content that I am sharing here today. You also have the ability to turn on a nickname generator so people don't need to enter their name. And you also have the ability for two-step joining as well. So looks like we're all set. Let's go ahead and get started here. Again, if you by chance need to re-enter the game pin will be posted in the chat, which is hosted by my lovely coworker Leanne here today. And why don't we go ahead and get started? So again, welcome everybody to the Kahoot Basic webinar. It's my honor to be able to chat with you here on this lovely Friday. Hopefully you get a chance to learn quite a bit about Kahoot. And again, my name is Connor. I am a customer success manager here at Kahoot. I'm located here in Copenhagen, Denmark, on this lovely Friday. I hope that we have a chance here to learn lots together. I hope today that we get to live up to the Kahoot mantra of making learning awesome. I'm here to help you. And today we are going to embark on a fun journey together when it comes to creating a Kahoot, our basic Kahoot webinar. Again, like I mentioned just previously before, I'm joined by my coworker Leanne, who's going to be manning the chat today. I have the privilege of working with her every single day. She's truly fantastic. And I will ask Leanne if anything comes up. Feel free just to jump in and let me know if there is any questions that are coming up in the chat. Awesome. Can I just get a thumbs up to make sure everyone can hear me okay, see my screen? All is good? All good. Perfect. Awesome. We are all good to go. Awesome. So let's go ahead and get started here. Again, make sure you have your phone out here today. Make sure you're logged into the Kahoot game. And then what we can do is go ahead and get started. So What's on deck for today? What are you going to learn here today in our basic webinar? Well, first and foremost, I'm going to go through our introductory slides, which I'm doing here today. I call it the not so fun stuff. Now, I'm also going to show you how we can make that a little bit more interactive. We've all sat through presentations where you're sinking into your chair. It's not that much fun, and you feel like you need a second or third cup of coffee. I get it. We've all been there. But I'm going to show you here today when it comes to making a Kahoot, how you can import quizzes into your presentations and make them so much more enjoyable, so much more interactive, and really just a better experience for everybody. Make them truly more engaging. And then after we go through that, I'm going to go through the fun stuff. So what that is how to actually create a Kahoot. And that really is my main goal for you here today in our basic webinar. And that is if I can get you to go home, close your laptop afterwards, log on to Kahoot and say, you know what, I feel confident enough to go ahead and create a Kahoot. I think my job here is done. I think that that is the first step in your Kahoot journey. And a little snippet, not only that, but I'm also going to show you how to host a Kahoot, which again goes hand in hand with creating a Kahoot because there's no point in creating a Kahoot if it's not going to be used. So I will go through those two main points here today. Awesome. So let's go ahead and get started here. This is something called a drop pin. So this is a great way to gauge an audience on how things are going. So all you need to do here is just drag and drop on the marker on how you're feeling today. I want to know how things are going. It's a Friday, we're in the middle of January. I want to know how things are going. Personally, I've had a nice cup of coffee here today, so I'm feeling pretty good, but I want to know how you're doing here today. No right or wrong answer either. I'm not gonna hold it to you. Right on. That's perfect. So people are feeling pretty good. I'm sure there's some great plans for the weekend, which is really, really great. But again, from a work sense, it's great to have these kind of interactivities inside of a presentation, especially when you're dealing with a large group of people, so you can get a feeling for the audience and how things are going. It's great to see that people are doing really well. Another use case here when it comes to the drop-in is that you can use this for any kind of compliance training. You can use this for training gaps. You can have a list of new set of rules that came out in your organization. You're asking employees to find gaps. They can use a drop pin as an example. In this case, I'm using it as an icebreaker. And that's the beautiful thing about using our many quiz types is that there really is a use case in all facets. So one of the great perks about using Kahoot. Next up is our word cloud here. So this is where you can get some feedback. Um, what is your role at your organization? Like I mentioned before, I'm a customer success manager. I would like to learn a little bit more about you. What role do you have at your organization? Maybe it's human resources, maybe it's in learning and development. Um, let's go ahead and hear from you. You got 6 seconds here. Should type that in. Let's go ahead and see. HR manager, customer success, and learning. Awesome. So again, that's the beautiful thing about using Kahoot. There is a use case for everybody. Being a customer success manager, I have a lovely fellow customer success team member in the house, which is awesome to hear. We get to work with customers every single day, which is truly, truly a blessing. We have people here in HR and learning, which is, again, a very great use case when it comes to using Kahoot. Awesome to see that there's many people here joining, and we are very lucky to have you here today. So now that I know a little bit more about yourself, how you're feeling, what your role is, this is a little bit more about Kahoot. So who are we as an organization? So Kahoot is the leader in gamifying learning in the workplace. So no matter if you're looking to present a presentation to your team, maybe it's going to be a large scale meeting, maybe it's a company-wide meeting, maybe you're looking to make things more fun. It doesn't matter, there is a use case there. You don't have to be there in person. It can be remote, just like we are here today. So again, a multifaceted tool that works in so many different ways. So truly a great tool. On to the next point here. Again, we are on is how we recognize businesses. So we recognize that challenges are very complex when it comes to the business world. And that's really where Kahoot can really slide in and be that missing puzzle piece, We really do believe that solutions need to be easy, they need to be fun, and they need to be rewarding by choice. Because if they're not easy, they're not fun, and they're not rewarding, people are not going to do them. So just like today, my main goal with you is to be able to create a Kahoot because making a Kahoot is easy, it's fun, and it's also rewarding because you will get a more engaged and fulfilled work staff. Moving on is a poll. So I would like to learn what your experience level is when it comes to using Kahoot. Again, no right or wrong answer here. Could be a super user. You could be someone who's never used Kahoot before. Maybe you've hosted a game or two. Again, like I said, no right or wrong answer. Awesome. So we have a lovely super user in the house. That's always great to see. And we've had some individuals here who have hosted or played a game or two. Again, awesome. Like I said, no right or wrong answer. We all start somewhere. I'm hoping that you're able to learn a thing or two here today in our basic webinar. And again, this poll is a great way to get feedback and just get a gauge for the room, right? You get to know a little bit more about your audiences. So let's say, for example, you're hosting a town hall and you want to get a feel for how people feel about a recent rollout. Maybe it's a policy change. Who agrees with this change in the organization? You can get a general feel for how things are going. Feedback is hard. It's hard for people to be honest, but in this facet, people feel a lot more comfortable to give honest and clear feedback. So really great to see. On that note, like I had mentioned before, we have a lot of very popular impact areas. So whether you're hosting a town hall, whether you're looking to just boost engagement in your organization, maybe it's training gaps, maybe it's going to be a trade show. Many of us here are actually going to be at a large conference in London called BET, and Kahoot will definitely be played at a very large scale there. So again, there is always going to be a facet area for using Kahoot, no matter what your use case is. Even if it's just for fun. I mean, for example, over the holiday season, I played a lot of Kahoot with my family, and it created a lot of competitiveness, I will say. So again, doesn't matter if it's just at work. There's always going to be a use case when it comes to playing Kahoot. So last little question here that I would like to learn from you is just how do you want to use Kahoot or how do you plan on using Kahoot? Maybe it's going to be to boost engagement within your employee base. Maybe you're just looking to learn how to create a Kahoot for the first time. I know we have a super user in the house, so that might differ from people who have maybe created a Kahoot or two. But I'd like to just hear about what the use case might be when it comes to using Kahoot, because there's many different use cases depending on our customer needs. We have about 40 seconds left. Again, just some other sample areas that we can choose from. So again, engagement is a very popular area. It could be training gaps. It could be knowledge checks. It could just be for fun to keep an engaged work staff. All right, we have four answers here. Let's go ahead and take a look at what was said. We have to train and present to my customers. Okay, very nice. That's awesome. A quiz in a town hall for fun and engagement, always a great tool. Even here at Kahoot, we play a lot of quizzes and a lot of fun, and it creates a lot of enjoyable experiences. Make my meetings more fun, of course. Again, Kahoot is fun, it's easy, and it's rewarding. And to share knowledge, exactly, that's perfect. Again, there's no better tool than to share knowledge than Kahoot because not only is it a awesome technology, but it's also very fun, and people will learn a lot more when it's in a rewarding and fun environment. Great. But it's great to see the use cases here to, create quizzes and town halls, share knowledge, have fun. Again, just speaks to how using Kahoot is a multifaceted tool. Awesome. So now that you've learned a little bit more about Kahoot, we've gone through the introductory slides. You've now seen also as well how you can make a presentation more engaging. If I were just to go through some slides and say next, 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 you probably would be falling asleep. And we don't want that to happen, especially on a Friday. So that's why we can enter these quizzes into our presentation to make sure that things are more engaging. And now's the time to have a little bit more fun, and that is to create a Kahoot for the very first time. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch over to my Kahoot account. You can put your phone down, but definitely make sure to take a look at the screen. And what we're going to do here is go into Kahoot and create a Kahoot and have a little bit of fun. So what you're looking at here is the Kahoot dashboard. So this is where when you log into your Kahoot account, you're going to see a dashboard similar to this. Here, for example, we have the private workspace. And today what I'm going to be doing is just showing you two different workspaces. So you have your private workspace, which is where you can create Kahoots just for yourself. So let's say, for example, I was creating a Kahoot for my family, for example, or just for my team. Here for introductory purposes, I can go ahead and create that in my private workspace. Now, I always encourage you to work out of the team workspace. So what is a team workspace? The team workspace is where you can collaborate with your team members and make sure that everyone has access inside of the team workspace. So there's two different kind of workspaces, your private workspace, which is for your own eyes, and then the team workspace. Again, I would always recommend you working out of the team workspace just so you can experience all the great features of using Kahoot because not all of the features are available in your private workspace. So again, private workspace, team workspace, recommend you working out of the team workspace. You also have your library here, which is going to be where you're able to see all of the Kahoots that you have created. For example, this is the Kahoot that we just played, which was my Kahoot basic webinar. You also have access to reports as well. So if you're looking to see how people performed on a Kahoot, if there was difficult questions, you're actually able to see that in the reports as well here today. So even for example, this is the one that we captured for here today. So we can see a lot of the information there. Awesome, but that's the not so fun stuff. Let's go ahead and create a Kahoot. So all we need to do when we're logged in here is to click on the blue button here that says create. And then what we can do is we can click on Kahoot. You're also going to notice that there is story in courses. These are two great engagement techniques as well, but that is more for our advanced session. So if you find that this session today is super helpful and you say, you know what, I know how to make a Kahoot, I know how to host a Kahoot, I would like to learn a little bit more, we have an awesome session being done by, again, my lovely coworker Leanne on the 23rd of January, where we're going to go through advanced features, where we're going to cover story and courses to really show you how that gets completed. But for today, we're going to focus on creating a Kahoot for the first time. So let's go ahead and do that. We click on Create Kahoot, and it's going to populate here to create a new Kahoot. You're going to see a couple of options to go ahead and get started. One of the awesome things about using Kahoot is that we make it super easy for you to start creating. So we have some awesome AI features. AI is all the buzz in 2024, and it's continuing into 2025. We recognize that your time is super valuable, and sometimes you don't know where to start. And that's no problem. We help you there. We will really hold your hand when it comes to Kahoot creation. So you're able to actually create a Kahoot from a PDF. So what you can just simply do is you can upload a PDF here. And what will actually happen is we will actually create Kahoot questions for you just like that. So in a matter of minutes, you can have an awesome Kahoot created, and all you need to do is upload your PDF. The same thing goes for a Kahoot generator. So if you're looking to create a Kahoot on a sample topic, so maybe it's learning development. I know we had a member of learning here today. All you need to do is generate some topic questions, and you can actually simply add them into your Kahoot here, which is really, really great. Again, more of this will be covered on our advanced webinar, but to go ahead and get started, these are just awesome ways for you to go ahead and use it. Awesome. If you're feeling a little bit more bold, you can go ahead and start from scratch, which is really great. All the power to you. You also have the ability to choose from some templates that we have here. Or what you can always do is you can import slides. So if you're somebody like me who works off of Google Slides or PowerPoint, this is something that's super valuable where all you need to do is upload your PowerPoint presentation or Google Slide presentation here, and we can actually create a Kahoot from there. So let's go ahead and do that here today. I'm gonna click import slides, and I can either upload my slides, my PowerPoint, or a PDF of my slides, and it's going to upload directly here into Kahoot. So if I go to upload file, I click basic webinar, perfect. It's going to take a second for us to populate into our system here. And voila, all of my slides have been uploaded. I can click add all. And just like that, all my slides have been done. So great, you've seen how to add slides to a Kahoot. Awesome job. So you can simply add slides that you built to any Kahoot that you like, and you can save time. How easy was that, right? Awesome, but maybe slides isn't your thing. That's no problem. So we have awesome AI features, like I mentioned before, to help you go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and try that out. So when we click on add question here, it's going to bring up all of the question types that you have the ability to go through. And we're going to go back to this in just a second. Right now, we're going to focus on AI. So when it comes to AI, all you need to do is click on the button that says generate. And then what you can do is you can actually create sample questions based off of a certain topic. So like we did before when it came to learning and development, you could just simply type in learning and development. You could upload a document here, or maybe you want to post a URL, right? So for example, let's say you're looking to learn more about learning and development. We'll stick with that here today. Learning and development, we click continue, and you can have a sample of questions here, which is really great. Now, when it comes to adding sample questions here as well, we've gone through a little bit of the AI features here to help you get started. I want to now just simply show you how to actually add these question types here. So right now we still have just simple slides, and we want to avoid the worst thing, which is boring. So what that is by adding questions that will make your presentation more engaging. So we click on add question, and we can test knowledge here by adding a test knowledge question. So for example, a quiz question, very similar to a multiple choice question. So in college, university, it's very common. That was never my favorite thing when I went into school, but that's okay. You're able to add them here. You can add true or false, which is also a very common one that we see for our customers at work to test knowledge. The type answer, so that was something that we actually did during the opening slide there, where I asked our audience here what your role was at your organization, where people have to type in where they are. We have an awesome slider option that will allow individuals to guess between a certain range. This could be a good way to test knowledge in a sales team, for example, where you're wondering, hey, like what was our revenue last year? It's a good way for us to test that. I'm somebody who's really big on collecting opinions as well. So in order to gauge our audience here, it's really nice to understand how people are doing. So I like to always include that for feedback. Again, being in learning development, being in customer success, being in human resources, it's all about our people that we work with. So it's really good to always stay engaged and to make sure that people are getting the right information. So let's go ahead and create our first Kahoot question here. So let's go ahead and add a word cloud here. So we can ask people their opinion. So what are your thoughts on the most recent company changes? Again, this is one thing that you can ask your audience here and ask your staff. Again, to collect opinions, to collect feedback. Again, asking people for feedback is typically quite difficult, but by making it fun and engaging on their phone, it gives people a sense of comfort that allows them to really get out of their shell and give their opinion here. So we can also find and insert media here. So all we need to do is click on Find and Insert Media. The really great thing about using Kahoot here is that you have access to Getty images where you can choose from a wide variety of different pictures that would suit your needs. So let's find one when it comes to feedback, for example. Perfect. Here's a great one. So let's go ahead and use this. We can see that this is going to be added. And then when you do present this question, you're actually able to get your employees' feedback. So in two simple steps, we've created our first question here. Super, super simple. You're also able here to change the time limit. So maybe you want to give people a little bit longer of a time. Maybe it's 1 minute and 30 seconds to give their feedback if this is done in a live setting, which is super, super great. Moving along, like I mentioned before, we've gone through AI, which is really great. We've also gone through some of the awesome question types here, and we've also gone through digital media, which is super great. One last thing I want to show you here when it comes to adding questions as well is that you're also able to click on Find, which is a really interesting tool. So we have a lot of creators as well that create Kahoots every single day. We are very appreciative for those individuals. So you're actually able to find Kahoots that have been created on a certain topic as well. So if you were looking for something on learning, for example, you can also find learning that has been played or questions that have been created already. So again, it's all about getting started in a quick and efficient way. we have a lot of tools to help you get started that make it super, super simple. And last but not least is just the flow of the customer experience here. So the first thing is to create a Kahoot, which we have done here today. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to actually host a Kahoot. And I'm also going to show you how you can assign it, because it's not always possible for you to host it to a live audience. One of the great things as well about using Kahoot is that you can assign it to individuals to complete on their own time, which is super great when it comes to asynchronous learning. So can you see yourself creating a Kahoot? I know that you can. It's super simple. And if we work together here, we can continue to make learning awesome, which again is our mantra here at Kahoot. So we've gone ahead, we've created our first Kahoot here. Let's go ahead and give it a title here at the top by clicking on Settings. And we can call this the Kahoot Basic Webinar. Here, we can also provide a description as well. So let's call it the Kahoot Basic Webinar. Here inside of our basic information, you can also see who can actually see the Kahoot. So if you want everyone in your organization to be able to see it, great. If you want to be unlisted so people can't actually search for it, you can choose unlisted, for example. You can allow duplication, which means that when people see your Kahoot, they can actually go ahead and copy that Kahoot as well. You can choose where it's saved, as well as the language here of your Kahoot. Again, lots of different languages you can choose from here today. Click on Done. And just like that, we can click on Save in the top right-hand corner. Very important, always click on Save, because we want to make sure that, that we have awesome things. And oh, this is great, perfect. So we have to actually add our question here. Good question. So let's go ahead and actually create another one here before we go ahead and save this. So let's say, let's go ahead and delete this one actually. And let's click on Save. Perfect. Okay, awesome. So we click on Done, and now what happens is we have our Kahoot that's been created. Now that we've gone ahead and we've actually created a Kahoot, I've shown you how to actually create a Kahoot. I want to show you how to actually host a Kahoot as well. So when it comes to hosting a Kahoot or assigning a Kahoot, it's also very simple. So you can either click on the Host Live button here. So again, this is the one that we played a little bit earlier today that I went through at the very beginning, and it will take you to the screen where you went to the game pin, you clicked on Host Live. Now, like I mentioned just previously, there might not always be the opportunity for you to do so. No problem. You could actually assign this as well. So if I click on Assign, I can then assign it to people in my organization for them to complete on their own time, which is really, really useful. So people might be on the go, people might work different shifts, people might work in different locations around the world. It's all very possible in today's society. So we can go ahead and change the dates. Let's say, for example, we want to choose January 31st for them to complete the Kahoot that we did today. You can choose the time. So let's say 5 p.m. You can choose the visibility. Again, more to come on that in our later sessions, but you can choose who actually has visibility into this Kahoot. If you want to create a live experience for the individuals that are completing the Kahoot, you can turn on our question timer. You can turn on player identifier to know who exactly is behind the keyboard, and a lot of other great features here. So we click on Create. And what it's going to do, it's going to populate over for us to share the Kahoot. So we can actually assign it by email. So you simply just click on Assign and enter the emails of who needs to complete this Kahoot. You can go ahead and share this on social media. You can go ahead and copy and paste the URL, or you can also download the QR code for completing this Kahoot. So in two really simple steps, you've assigned that out to people. People can then complete it, and you're going to be able to see their completion here in the reporting section of the Kahoot. So very, very simply, we went through here today how we played a little bit of Kahoot. We went through how to actually create a Kahoot. We went through some of the fun and engaging question types. We went through AI. We went through how easy it is to go ahead and get started by uploading your slides. That was everything with regards to actual content creation. I want to go ahead and show you some really quick links as well that I find to be very useful when it comes to learning more about Kahoot. So we also have our awesome resource center here. This has been the bread and butter for a lot of our customers when it comes to getting questions answered. It's really intuitive. There's a lot of really good information here. We will make sure to post the link here in the chat for you to access the support center. Something that I find to be super useful. So again, if you're not able to find your questions through a simple Google search, this is always a really good place for you to search. So whether it's questions about billing, whether it's questions about creating and sharing your Kahoot, all of the information that I covered here today, you're actually able to find here inside of the Learning and Resource Center. But you might say to yourself, or say to me, you might say, hey, Connor, listen, I don't really like reading. I don't learn that way. That's no problem. That's something that we totally recognize here at Kahoot, is that people learn differently. And again, there's different ways that we can make learning awesome. And that doesn't just include a resource center. It also includes some visual learnings as well. So we actually also have our awesome YouTube channel here, which is just at Kahoot, which we can also share as well. Again, really great information here. You're able to see how to create your first Kahoot as well if you're looking for some step-by-step instructions. You're also able to see past webinars as well. I believe this webinar as well that I'm recording here today, you're going to be able to see that as well eventually on our YouTube channel. A really great thing for you to revisit going forward. If that's not enough, if you're saying, you know what, well, I just like to see how other people are learning. I like to see how other people are, succeeding when it comes to using Kahoot. A really great thing for you to do is actually to visit kahoot.com and take a look at some of our great customer stories. Working in customer success, it's great that I get to work with some of our greatest customers, and they have a lot of great success stories to share. Again, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, it doesn't matter what your use case is. We have a solution for you to help make engagement more of a reality and get away from traditional forms of engagement. So again, always recommend taking a look at that, where you can go ahead and learn more about the great successes of our fantastic customers. And last but not least, if that's not enough and you're looking to get into contact with us here at Kahoot, you can actually also go to our support channel here. So if you're looking to submit a request, maybe it's to get in touch and saying, hey, I didn't notice something. You can always contact our support team here just by filling out your information and a little bit of information about your inquiry, and we can go ahead and help you solve your issues. I wanted to leave a lot of time for questions here today. That is everything I wanted to cover with regards to material. So again, to recap, we went through a lot of great material here when it came to creating a Kahoot, hosting a Kahoot. I know we have about 20 odd minutes left, which is super good. We have lots of time for questions if needed. And if there is no questions, it'll be great to get some time back in your day for you to grab another coffee. Yes, exactly. One more thing here. We do have another session for the basic webinar next month, and we also have our awesome advanced session coming up on the 23rd. So next week, hosted by my lovely coworker, Leanne. If there is no questions, I just want to say thank you very much for your time, everybody. I hope you were able to learn a little bit about Kahoot. In terms of moving forward, want to make sure that you're going home today and you're trying to create a Kahoot. Again, it's super fun. There's no pressure. Just try your best to create a Kahoot and then try hosting a Kahoot. Again, that is where we're able to really succeed. Start slow. We all start from somewhere. I remember when I started creating Kahoots, it's a process, but once you get in, your foot in the door, you're never going to leave. You're going to see how engaging it can be and how helpful it can actually be for organizations. So good luck, happy Kahooting, and we will see you next time and hopefully next week on the advanced session with Leanne. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great day.